Good morning, everyone. Welcome to PLDT and Cisco Virtual Learning Series. This is Ria Kalau from Cisco, and I just want to run down a few reminders before we start. For uninterrupted viewing experience, make sure that we all have stable internet connection. Would request that everybody be on mute when you are not talking, but we will open the speaking series soon as the Q&A is open. Use of headphones are highly recommended for better audio quality. And we also have a chat box where you can post your questions if you don't feel comfortable talking online, or if you, at any given time, you want to ask the questions. We're also going to do some polling during the event, so please watch out. It's going to be on the chat box. Now, to officially start the program, I am honored to welcome Mark Rayo, Head of FMCG segment for PLDT Enterprise. Mark, when you're ready, please.
Hi, good morning, Ria.
Morning, Mark.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cisco Virtual Learning Series. This is Mark Ryo from PLDT Enterprise. This session aims to provide solutions to help enable remain business as usual from anywhere with Cisco WebEx, so your team can stay connected from anywhere at any time on any devices. Like Priya said, if you have any questions and suggestions, feel free to key them in through chat box, and we will address them during our Q&A segment. And now to officially start the program, please welcome Mr. Cristo, ASEAN Collaboration Business Development Manager of Cisco. Hi, Chris.
Hey Mark, thank you for the warm welcome, and it's great to have to be on this platform. So thank you PLDT for having us. Okay, and the name of our session today is actually what we call the making work from home work. My name is Chris. I'm from Cisco, Singapore, but I'm actually in a role that has an ASEAN capacity that includes Philippines. So my role is as a collaboration specialist, and one of a very hot topic and trending technology for many of you and for many of the customers that I've been talking to, right? So this topic about making work from home work has been very highly requested, and many customers and partners have been asking for the topics of a similar nature. So I'm very happy to be sharing this today in this session with you. I learned that while planning for this webinar, I learned from the team that it is quite amusing, but in almost all of the different country, they call it differently. So apparently in Philippines, it's called enhanced community quarantine. In Singapore, we call it the circuit breaker. And then for Malaysia, they call it a movement control order, right? So, and I also learned that this enhanced community quarantine in Metro Manila is pretty much aligned on the same guidance and a timeline as some of the ASEAN countries, which means that more or less around towards the start of June, the lockdown or the enhanced community quarantine will be eased, and so this is pretty much aligned with most of the countries in ASEAN. So then I think these have already impacted us to a certain extent, right? So my experiences during this circuit breaker and this lockdown situation has been that my life has changed, and it has changed further with the lockdown, because what initially was just 15 days of announcement has been extended to more a month, and now more than that is that we now that when it says returning back to work is a new normal. So when the lockdown was first announced, the life has changed, right? If you think about it, that's this example, but it's quite funny. But the work day has changed to watching a lot of YouTube video, argue with strangers online, searching for new shows to watch, check the fridge for new food, asking your family what's for lunch, what's for dinner. And then people are making a fuss about McDonald's is being banned, right? That they're forced to lock down on a close in this situation. So to help our customers and really to start that, we have to start with ourselves first. So starting with myself, I started to ask, I gotta reevaluate my work day and ask how do I keep myself productive. If you think about your normal work day when you are going out to work, how you are being productive is when you are collaborating and working with your customers and your team members to brainstorm or to come up with solutions or to do work itself. So now, if you need to ask, how am I bringing value to my employers and how am I bringing value to the work that I'm doing now, right? So that is something that we gotta ask ourselves and re-evaluate and rethink how we should spend our time in our normal work day. Second is I realize this is all too easy, especially for me and for some of my colleagues, is that it's too easy to bring work into your environment at home. And during the first few weeks of working from home, I found myself glued to the chair, and the queries were coming to non-stop, right? That it's so easy to get fully absorbed and drowned into work, and I end up in the room doing work all the time. I don't spend enough time with the family or to my friends around. Sorry, not friends, because you can't go out and meet friends. I mean the family. So that is one of the thing, right? So you got to set up an area that's for work, and then when it's time to stop work, make sure that you don't get yourself too absorbed into it, and do spend some time with the people that you care about. All right. Third is be kind and understanding to the distractions around you. When the work from home started, a lot of people are not well prepared to have, for example, like a good clear background or sound that is, So I think that we could do with a lot of better understanding and being kind to the people that we have to meet with them. And so that is some of these things that we can choose to be kind and understanding of disruption. So it's perfectly fine if, when I'm having web conferencing with my colleagues or partners and customers too, sometimes when they have a pet that come into the picture, or if they have a certain the kids come on the screen. Next one is the trust a teammate. Trust that your teammate is bringing their best to work every day, and they're gonna be doing the parts that way they're supposed to do. So because now that people are working virtually, trust is something that we cannot take for granted. We need to constantly build and make sure and reinforce that the relationship is still there, and managers play a part to that. Having, when I was back to the first point, when you are re-evaluating your work, we also thought about, this was quite a good one, which I was asking myself, what is my basic requirement to make work from home work, right? So there's some things I could have done I could have think what would be the best, easiest way for me to make my day and make work from home more productive. And so I'm going to run a poll here to ask the crowd what you think. But some of these initial requirement that I asked some of my friends and some of my colleagues, and some of them is pretty funny, right? Some of them they just, all right, I need a news, I definitely need to get Netflix subscription, and then the next, some of them actually didn't have a proper chair. So sitting in a chair that is not a good chair will get you some back pain. You get in some bad position and a bad ache. Old people problems probably, but there's also colleagues or people who out there may not have the luxury of having a computer that is state of the art or up to speed. And then finally, some people are out there thinking about what's the best web conferencing subscription to get, as well as getting their broadband. So broadband is something they realize that they need to get a better broadband connection, or they don't have enough bandwidth at home to support their work from home needs. So do participate in the poll. If you do not see the poll on the right hand side of the panel, you can actually go to the options on more options in the main window screen, and you can select poll from there, right? So you can participate in the poll. Some tips for the manager is we could be accessible to your team. Start every conversation by asking about their well-being. One of the things I think is too easy to assume that your team members are doing okay, especially not having seen them for a while. One thing you will miss is having the video interaction, the face-to-face interaction, right? And so the face-to-face interaction gives you so much feedback and gives you so much input to how they are doing. And so having video on is really important, because video on, having the video first is the next best thing you could get to having a face-to-face interaction, right? We mentioned this again, right? It's more than important for the managers to set a role example of being kind and understanding to disruptions happening. Last but not least, having a web conferencing does not mean that it needs to be work. So you could do a lot of socializing at work is just as important. So just like when you are working in the office, when you go to the office, you have lunch, you have tea breaks with your colleagues. These are also just as important to have this kind of social interactions with them, right? So just have fun. Some examples of what we've done from my team. We obviously at Cisco, we have a partner relationship as well as a relationship with customers. So we have all transited to a virtual now. And over here on the top left, you can see we have a virtual happy hour with partners. We also had a virtual customer event, and then to continue and engage with the customer, but not just through events like the Cisco Live, but also through normal webinars and live stream, and also even like sessions like this, where we are coming out of this webinar to try and continue to have this relationship with you, right? So how can we improve the working from home challenges? One of the things we realize and we know that is that when a customer, when someone has to bring work from office into the home environment actually is substantially different from that in the office. There are many things we took for granted in the office, right? Some of the things we took for granted is bandwidth, right? Security. These are some of the things that actually would not be they're not there in the in when you're home. You may not have the bandwidth that is required or the security that you would have required to make sure that the work is secure, is reliable, and is suitable for you to work, right? So sometimes when you're working from home, you may not know, but in the background, because you are in a shared facility, your family members may be playing the game, or they are streaming some Netflix show, or their connected homes are doing the backup, right? Some of them may have a network devices that are doing the backup in the morning or in the afternoon, and those will really clog up your bandwidth. So when they clog up your bandwidth, real-time applications like WebEx will actually be impacted, right? So this some of the experience. One of my colleagues shared this slide in Italy. They didn't have the luxury of having a well-prepared service provider. And so when everybody had to work from home, the service providers were really congested. And basically what you see here is like a traffic jam, right? So every application, every user, every distinct district, right, is actually trying to go and connect into this service provider to have the traffic output. So these some things you have to consider. How can you free up the resources on your laptop, as well as to optimize and make sure that you use the battery that you need, so that so that you can get the experience that you need when you're doing your work. Right. So some tips to share with you here. First one, as I mentioned, have a good bandwidth. Second is keeping the streaming and the backups until night, right, during your midnight time and so on. Also over here, you know that on your laptop, you may have many applications open, especially for you as a customer. You will have a lot of applications open on your laptop. Some of them actually you not require, and they are actually asking for the same resources. For example, like you may have a Microsoft Teams meeting, and then you need to have Skype, and you have Zoom, and then you have Google Hangout. So in the end, you will have about 4 or 5 applications running in the background. All of them are actually asking for your CPU, for your laptop resources like your microphone and your camera, so that so all these are actually taking up the resources on your laptop, right, in the background. So don't weigh your CPU. If you have a WebEx meeting, just have WebEx on, and you can make sure that you turn off the other applications that is running in the background, right? Next one over here is that WebEx does not actually need VPN. So you may not need to have a VPN, because with the VPN, your routing may actually be impacted. based on the traffic routing, right? So one of the things is that WebEx is actually intelligent. We are intelligent enough in the sense where we will actually anchor your WebEx media to your nearest media node. So if you have VPN on, you may actually end up somewhere else, and your media may anchor somewhere else, right? That's one. Next, secondly, is also that when you have the VPN, everybody is using the VPN. So the company's VPN or your company may not have optimized the VPN concentrator for media traffic. So that's why it may not be optimized for the web conferencing to allow media traffic. An example of this is web conferencing tools of us definitely use a UDP. So VPN is not optimized for UDP, and sometimes they close off certain UDP ports. When they do that, that will actually cause the web conferencing to default into TCP. So we will jump to TCP. When we go to TCP, that's when the problem happens, right? Then that's where you get the jittery, poor audio, poor video, and so on. So we really advise if you don't need to use any VPN, WebEx on pure internet traffic will work just as well. Okay, the next few is pretty basic. I wouldn't talk too much, but basically use a headset with good audio and microphone, especially if you have noisy siblings, parents, and kids. Right, for me, I have a kids background. And then mute yourself when you are not talking. And I had a kind reminder from your colleagues. Right, it's totally fine to request to be muted when you're not talking. Check your background, make sure it's not too distracting, and then avoid peak usage. We also prepared a link here. So if you have a low bandwidth, you can go to this link and check it out. Okay. So just to share you a bit of background on WebEx. WebEx is a well-known brand. It's our #1 collaboration platform because it presents both the present as well as the future of work. We have been the most secure, reliable, and a scalable platform in the world. And WebEx has also primarily been known to serve enterprise. So this is the strength of our brand, right? Most of our customers are large enterprises, and as well, we also start to have more and more enterprise customers that requires the reliability and the security of the platform. Okay, and the new standards of WebEx is that we want to pride ourselves on these 4 things, which is #1, it's easy to use. Okay, easy to use means that it comes with a modern interface and an experience that lets the users to come in and use it easily without too much requiring them to learn about how to configure or navigate the interface. Second is about easy to manage. So this one, we are actually selling to the IT administrator, right? IT administrators are the important lifeline in the company. They are the ones actually managing the IT experiences in the company itself and helping them to deploy the IT technology. I think IT administrator have never been more important until this enhanced community quarantine happened, right? They are the one fighting the fire, making sure that VPN is up and that people can get access to their company resources even when they are working from home remotely. Next one is a platform advantage. At Cisco, we are lucky enough and we have the breadth of entire collaboration platform that includes the calling, messaging, and the meetings from a single platform. So we are happy to have a single platform advantage that allows us to have a unified way to apply analytics, apply enterprise-grade security, and apply this cognitive intelligence, AI, to allow you as a customer to get a lot of productivity out of that platform. Last but not least is our heritage and our DNA in security. So we are secure, reliable, and scalable. So these are the new standards that the 4 pillars that we have on the WebEx meeting. Okay, so easy to use, we shared before. Easy scheduling, simple to join and share. We have tools that allow you. We can do an integration with Google Calendar, Outlook, and iCloud. So almost all the email client, we are able to have a integrated built-in plugin or add-in that allows you to put in easily scheduled WebEx meeting. Next is ability to easy to join. You can join from the office, you can join from home, you can join on the go. What you see here is the multiple different form factors that we have. We have different devices like this WebEx board, the WebEx Desk Pro for the normal desk worker, and then we have the mobile device as well as the laptop to join, right, to allow mobility and let people join as they need. Flexible conferencing layout, you can test this out right now. In fact, actually, if you go to the top right, you can toggle the view. You can see that we have multiple different views like grid view, active speaker, and active speaker view. So lots of ratings. WebEx has been known easy to use, right? Next one, easy to manage. With ease of use and ease of manage, a management tool allows for seamless workflow. For the IT administrator, having a management tool allows them to do troubleshooting. By allowing them to do troubleshooting, they can get to the root of the problem for their customers, for their users. Allows you a single pane of glass, so you can easily see and drill down into problem areas, no matter whether is it in the calling or meeting or messaging, or even for a single device that you're managing across your company or organization. Because of the benefit that you have a single platform, you have a control hub, you can troubleshoot from there. Next is you have analytics for business insight. Analytics is very important because a lot of IT administrators and a lot of customers are looking into ROI, right? If I spend this amount of money with WebEx devices and all this technology, how am I getting this back in terms of ROI? We can understand usage and adoption. Customers are adopting the feature that we are implementing. The customer is adopting the usage of WebEx meeting. This is actually generating ROI back for the customer, so they know that their money is well spent and they can understand which of the meetings feature are being used, right? Last but not least, ability for you to manage everything from a control hub point of view, so that gives you the usage data and understand how you can you don't have to go to too many different platforms to manage all these and the complexity in managing all these disparate technologies. I won't go through too much, but we have an advanced diagnostic into the WebEx meeting. We can drill down into individual people joining into the WebEx meeting to find out how long they take to join, what kind of device they use to join, what's the issue that they are having at certain point of time, and what is their network condition that they have when they are joining into the web meeting. Okay. So these are some of these key highlights of how we are making it easy to manage. Security and reliability. I'll share that WebEx is one of the most secure web conferencing. Is well endorsed by multiple government bodies, and I think we can see some of this is coming up to the press now. You see that most of the government, interagency, or organizations that have a sensitivity around their data would use WebEx for their web meeting. So here is some tips and tricks that we have. For example, like when you schedule a meeting, you could use a complex password. We have the setting to allow for advanced option and save it as a template. As a user, as an IT administrator, you can configure all these settings centrally from a central management point of view to make sure that your employees do not go that they have the right security settings to have their web meeting, right? And also that you do not let them have the option to disconfigure this, right? During the meeting, we also have all the security settings to disable anyone from sharing. We can lock the room as required when anyone is in the room. But this is a case where it's important because there's something we know that in the industry as a Zoom bombing. All right, Zoom bombing is not actually just vulnerable to Zoom, but it could happen to WebEx. It could happen to anyone that is not able to, who is not so quick with technology, and it may not be so that's why we came up with this quick guide for our customers to be aware that there are all these security settings that they can set to avoid unfortunate situations like that. But the benefits of having centralized management and centralized configuration for the security settings for all of your users in your organization is that security is a must, right? So privacy is also another thing. We are committed to privacy, and that is a fundamental human right. So we will committed to not be transparent about what we do with your data, and we share this in the form of our data map and our data sheet that is publicly available. Okay, so these are some of the single platform advantage in terms of the security and compliance. Okay. I will talk about the security platform. This is in a nutshell. If you look at what I've just presented, what this have come up to is that it gives you as a customer a very nice, unified, modern experience. The end user will have a unified application that brings to them calling, meeting, messaging, as well as the WebEx device workload all into one single application with the single view, right? So this is a unified application. So for the end user, for the normal user, they will not have any problems with switching workload, and they have a seamless way of working, and they won't have too much distraction or problems with too many different user interface and unfamiliarity. For the IT administrator, the IT administrator will be very happy because they have an ease of management on a single platform. On a single platform, they have ease of management. They have all the benefits of managing things from a single platform, whether is it for calling, for meeting, for message, or devices. So all the collaboration workloads that you need sit in a single cloud with Cisco WebEx. And then because of that, we have the single platform. You don't have to worry with having security in multiple different platforms. You have an enterprise grade security with us. You have a cognitive collaboration. We'll apply AI and machine learning onto all these collaboration workload. And we also give you the analytics and leverage the global backbone that Cisco has, right? So this is what I mean by calling and messaging. And then finally, we have the WebEx devices. We have a full portfolio with video devices that we can enable co-creation use cases with the WebEx bot, as well as the WebEx desktop devices like the DX80 and the Desk Pro, right? And last but not least, of course, the integrated units like this one. Last of all, I'm gonna touch that our latest exciting announcement is the WebEx Assistant. So this is WebEx. You can see that there's a transcription as well as captions and highlights over here. And it provides you with real-time transcription and action items through the in-meeting assistant. I'm going to share a quick video, and that will be the end of my presentation. Right? So let me share the video.
Hey Rachel, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Sorry it's a bit loud here.
Yeah, there's a lot of background noise on your side. I think we're going to mute you. If you can't hear us well, follow along on the live transcript.
Yeah, okay. No worries.
Right, let's get underway. I'll start recording so WebEx Assistant can send us the highlights.
Note that our share value is 47, up 3 points, but now I want to increase that by 15%.
Great lead. Okay, WebEx, highlight that. Okay, WebEx, action item to define KPIs. Next steps. New task to track Richard's progress, and the final action item will be to review the marketing. Right then, I think that's everything. Hey guys.
Hey Rachel, how's it going? I'll start with the last set of figures.
Okay, that's all for the my presentation. Should I hand it over to for the next portion of this? I'm gonna hand it over to Frank, right? Ria.
That's right, Chris. Thank you for that. Very informative. So, Frank, when you're ready,
Yeah, I'm okay.
hi.
Hi, Joyce. Can you make me a presenter? Okay, thank you. Okay. Thank you, Ria and Chris. Good morning, everyone. So, can you see my screen now?
Yes, Frank, go ahead.
We can.
Thank you. So today we provide you solutions to remain business as usual from anywhere. So we are offering a free 90-day trial. So with Cisco WebEx, again, you can do meeting, instant messaging, training, and events. So I suggest you get in touch with your relationship manager or please contact me. My number is on the screen. And if you have any question, you may ask now.
I think there's some questions from the audience. Not sure if they would like to you because I can't unmute them. So
I think
we can
place or step.
yeah.
Aurea, can you read the questions right now? So we can answer them.
So we don't have. Let me just check. Oh, okay. We do have one question from Michael. What is the difference between Cisco WebEx and MS Teams? And maybe you want to touch on the difference of the other video platforms if you're ready.
Chris, can you answer that?
Yeah, so the question from Michael is on what's the difference between Cisco WebEx and Microsoft Teams. I think one of the big difference we have is, as I presented earlier, Cisco WebEx actually offers you a full collaboration platform, right? And that includes not just messaging, but also the calling, meeting, as well as devices, right? So you can see that Cisco has the full portfolio, and we can think of it from a collaboration point of view to really bring that benefits of collaborating on a single platform to our customers. That I think that Cisco WebEx herself also has a branding in terms of our heritage in IP telephony. We have been known to do IP phones and also WebEx. With WebEx, we're known to do our web conferencing pretty well. So I think the market speaks for itself. A lot of users out there looking for web conferencing are either looking for something that is good and reliable to help them augment their current work situation, right? Their work tools. So I hope that answers some question on a high level. In addition to that, I'll probably share with you some links to share so that you can see what's the differences, like a comparison chart. Okay.
Thanks, Chris. Let me just see if there's more.
There's another one.
Okay, I'm trying to view it. Can you read it through, Chris?
Yeah. The question is Luigi Santiago here. All right. Up to how many participants can join, and what is the bandwidth requirement for the participants to have a good experience? So I'm gonna answer that again. So typically for WebEx meeting, you can have up to 1,000 users to join in a single meeting. So it's really a lot, right? I think there's not many people who have 1,000 people meetings. But you can have up to 1,000 people join, and the bandwidth requirement for each participant, we typically recommend about 1 to 3 megabytes. But I'm happy to share with you a bandwidth, like a recommendation paper to you. It also depends whether you are joining from the mobile or you are joining from desktop. So my recommendation to get the best experience is always to join from your WebEx desktop app. Right, so install the WebEx desktop app, because with the WebEx desktop app, when you have installed it, the WebEx application is more equipped and better able to navigate tricky network conditions. So one of the example I want to share here is a feature we call global distributed meeting. So global distributed meeting depends on the capability for you to anchor to your nearest media node. Your mobile client and the web browser may not have the functionality to do so. So when you have the meeting on those platforms, you may not necessarily be on the best optimized media path, right? So some of the recommendations are to make sure you join from the laptop, desktop app, do not turn on VPN, and you get a good experience, right? Even if you may not have a lot of bandwidth. So having bandwidth may not be the only thing that you need to have a good experience. Hope that answers the question. Okay. Again, another comparison question between what is the advantages of using WebEx compared to Zoom and Google Meet. So with Zoom and Google Meet, both of them are also point solution providers. They provide WebEx, they provide web meetings, right? So we would like customers to think about what is the life and what happens after this enhanced community quarantine, right? There's a good chance that life will not be back to 100% normal. You will still have some kind of a mix of virtual and physical. Probably maybe some team A, team B of an arrangement. Team A is working from home, team B is in office. So when that happens, a lot of companies today, because they need to implement in the near term, they have to ask and think, how can we improve and improve the working experience in such a norm, right? So that means they have to quickly augment and quickly modernize their virtual work experience. And that means bringing a physical blend, a blend of both physical and a virtual workspace. And that is where we excel at, because we have talked about this for years. I think Ria can attest to that. We've been talking about, having meetings from the pocket to the boardroom, and then we talk about physical and virtual combined together. So we talk about this for very long. So we waited for this for almost 10 years, I guess, to have these benefits and advantages that we really want to share with everyone out there, how we can help customers to bring the full workload together, which includes calling, meeting, messaging, and video devices to enhance their work experience. So that's our advantage. I think one of the things you also realize is you can have too many meetings in a day. Sometimes people just want to have meetings to plan for another meeting. And so sometimes this thing may not need to be a meeting. It could be a calling, it could be messaging. So you could just, the reason why some people may not be doing a calling or messaging is because those two are hard to use and they are disparate and the experience is not good. That's why they are not using those tools. So these some of the things you can you need to consider, think broader in that sense.
So Chris, thanks for that. I smirk because of the many instances I think about doing WebEx. So we do have one question. I believe it is from a attendee who has multiple offices across the region, and you being a regional manager, can you talk about WebEx being multilingual? Do we have WebEx available in different languages?
We don't. We don't.
I'm guessing Korean, Chinese, and
Yeah. So obviously with the WebEx assistant, one of the feature was that we are looking into implementing simultaneous translation using the AI. So based on the video you saw earlier, we could do we can translate English. Right. I guess
Okay.
Philippines English good too, but it's a primarily English speaking country. So I would say it's about 70-80%. But multiple different languages is something we are exploring. We are looking into it very interestingly. But there's some language that will be prioritized. But some of them is, for example, like the Spanish. I think maybe some Philippines have Spanish as well, but it's something we are looking at. Today, we don't have that. If you need to have translation, we can do multiple sessions, or we can bring a translator in to do it, which is how some of the other web providers are actually doing that too, right? So they also bring in translator in order to translate the language.
Okay. Thank you for that. I do have another question, and it's again for you, Chris. Can an organization customize the look and feel of WebEx? I think they don't like our look and feel, but can you do customization?
Yes, you can. Yes. So, on the WebEx team, if on the WebEx team client, we allow certain co-branding, right? So we allow you to customize the color of the WebEx team client so that you can make the team client the color that you want that's in line with your corporate color. We also allow you to change the logo to your company's logo on the WebEx team. On the WebEx meeting, the client itself cannot be customized because that is an iOS app. This is on the App Store, right? So it's on the App Store and it's on the Android. We don't publish the APK, so you can't customize that application itself. But on your page that you go to, for example, like if you were to go to pldt.webex.com or you go to some of our customers' WebEx page, you will find that there is a Cisco WebEx for PLDT. So they put on their logo onto the WebEx page so that they have a co-branding. They know that this is the page for their company, right? So there's certain options that we provide to allow you to do co-branding.
Okay, that's good to know. I'd probably put my own logo on WebEx soon. One more last question. I think this goes to Frank or Sir Mark. How do I avail of the 90-day free trial? Is it easy? How fast can you provision my free trials?
Okay, so Ria, to avail the free 90-day trial, so their relationship manager will just send the link, and then once you get the link, you just fill up the form online. Just put your name, email address, contact number, and your designation, and then we will get back to you the soonest possible time. So that's very easy.
And I guess, Frank, because we're on ECQ and basing on our experience daily, we'll just get the link, they download the app, and they can start their trial already, right?
Yes, yeah, we can also do that.
Okay, that's great.
Thanks, yeah.
Okay, no more questions on the floor. Okay, I have one more just came in for Chris. Are there any changes with the integration of the new WebEx with CUCM? I think Christopher is a Cisco user.
Yeah, I'm thinking you are talking about WebEx Edge Audio. So the new WebEx, we have a new feature we call the WebEx Edge Audio, and WebEx Edge Audio allows you to connect your CUCM to your WebEx meeting instance. So when you do that, you can have the option to choose instead of the VoIP, you can let the customers to dial back to their corporate number, to your CUCM assigned number, your DIDs. And then you can also assign your CUCM DID number as a cold dial-in number. So we have that with the WebEx Edge Audio. It's too big of a topic to go further, but maybe we can do another session, or you can reach out so we can share more on WebEx Edge Audio to you.
Okay. Would you want to type in your email on the box if you can? For those for those that are not familiar with CUCM, that is Cisco's call manager. Chris talks like everybody knows it. Okay, so that's about it. I think any more questions that you want to ask? You can. Do you want to try turning on your mics and go live and ask Chris and Frank any questions? I'll give it a minute before I.
They can't turn on. They cannot turn on themselves. They cannot unmute themselves. So you gotta unmute them.
Steph, do you want to unmute people, or we'll just do chat? Okay, another one from Michael. How do the WebEx generated action items integrate with Outlook? Is it probably a manual process or automatic?
For WebEx generated action item, we call that the WebEx assistant. We call that the post meeting follow up highlights and captions. You will come to a page like your WebEx recording, and from there you can actually just send as email. So you can highlight certain, you can play the voice snippets, and then you can after that just type in the email address of the people that you want to send to, and then you can just send it to them. right? So it's a follow up as an email. Okay.
Okay. Um, if there are no more questions, I'd love to welcome back on screen our head for PLDT Enterprise FMCG, Sir Mark, to close us off.
Hi, Ria. Hi. Hi, everyone. Okay, so in behalf of PLDT Enterprise and Cisco, would like to thank everyone for joining us this morning. We hope you find this session very helpful to your business. Again, this has been Mark Ryan. Stay safe and God bless us all.